Okay, I am Dr. Abdullah M, and I am the UAV team lead in Minds Private Tech Private Limited Company here at Pakistan. And today we'll be discussing the topic of AI-powered drones, revolutionizing the skies. So we'll be looking into how drones and AI, artificial intelligence stands for AI, are changing the today's world that we live in. Okay, so these are the contents of the presentation. Okay, so first we'll see what are these UAVs for some people who may join this for the first time. So we'll see what these UAVs are and what is this AI, the artificial intelligence, and then we'll go into the detail and see some of the applications of how this AI is being used in various different categories and applications of drones. And in that area, we'll explore the search and rescue applications and how the AI is being incorporated, and we'll see how it is used in agriculture and infrastructure inspections. And then we'll look into some of the details of how delivery drones are using this artificial intelligence and machine learning algorithms for some really, really good, amazing tasks. And then we'll just conclude the presentation with the audience wondering about the future of AI and the more of the applications that it could do in future. Okay, so let's dive into it. And okay, okay. So let's start with UAVs. So UAVs or unmanned aerial vehicles are aircraft operated without a human pilot on board. So basically, there are different kinds of UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles. It may look like this hexacopter drone, or it may have some wings on it, or it may look like a helicopter. It may look like a normal plane that you usually use for traveling from one place to another. Any kind of aerial vehicle. Aerial vehicle stands for, means that something that is flying in air. Okay, so it's a vehicle that is operated in air, and if there is no human being that is piloting this, there's no human being on board to this plane, it will be called an unmanned aerial vehicle. Hence the name unmanned. Okay, so if you put a pilot here, well, it's not a UAV anymore. Okay, so if there is no pilot here, how will it drive itself? Well, what we do is that we give it commands from a remote location using wireless communication, like we when we call someone, the data is being transmitted, our voice is being transmitted wirelessly at some distance. So what we do is we control these drones from a remote location on Earth or anywhere. Or what we can do is that we can just pre-program the flights, and we can just hard code the program onto these drones, and we can just tell them, okay, you will go to these coordinates at that instant of time. After that, you will just go that way and this way, and then you come back to the original position and land. We can just pre-program all of these instructions, or we could give the commands real time from a remote location. So this is how these UAVs are operated. So anything that is flying in air and it does not have an onboard pilot, it is called a UAV. Okay. So if we talk about why UAVs, okay. So well, the answer is why not? Why not UAVs? Once you understand what these small things can do, well, the answer of why not UAVs makes a lot of sense. Well, they have high agility and maneuverability. Uh, they are very cost effective, and they can go to remote locations where humans cannot go. They are smaller in size, and they can achieve really great speeds. So here's a video. I put a video here. So here you see what these little buddies can do. So they can fly at really, really high speed. I hope you can hear the sound as well in this video.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me renew that request that I reiterate almost every time to please keep your microphones off. I just managed to turn them off. But in the event that one of you still has a microphone on at this time, please turn it off, as we need to listen to our presenter, Dr. Abdullah M. Sorry for this interruption, Professor.
Oh, no worries. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so here in these videos, I'll just play them once again. So here you can see they're very small in size. Once something is smaller, it is cheap as well. And you can observe the maneuverability of these drones. Maneuverability is this movements left and right and the agility. So they can do really, really good tasks. So this is just one of the examples of a UAV system. This specific one is called a quadcopter drone. Okay. So there are different kinds. They come in different sizes. While there is no pilot on board, and it's flying in air, and it's a UAV. Okay, so they can do a lot of things. So let's dive into what is this artificial intelligence, that is the short form known as the AI. Okay, so this AI or artificial intelligence is basically the mimicry of a human brain. So it is a simulation of human intelligence in machines. What we want is that we have some machines that are as intelligent as a human being. We are trying to do it. So this AI concept is that our machines can do what a human brain can do. Okay, what a human brain can do is that it can observe things from the environment. It can learn from it. It can make decisions accordingly. It can judge the scenarios. The human brain can take actions in accordance with the environment and the information that it receives, and it can pursue on its own. So all these things, well, we want these things in a machine as well. So we try different algorithms and we create different logics and stuff like that, and we put them into some machines and we say, okay, yeah, now this system is AI driven and this is artificial intelligence based system. For example, if you're flying a drone, okay, so for example, in this video, these two drones are flying. We're giving the commands and they're going left, right, and they're coming back. Okay. So we are giving them commands. We are giving the commands to these drones. These drones are not thinking on their own. They are not getting command from themselves. If they think on their own and understand on their own and take action on their own without any human intervention, they do something that is assigned to them without human intervention, well, you would say that this is an AI based drone. Okay, so it enables systems to learn, reason, and make decisions. And in accordance with those decisions, the system takes action and you achieve your aim. Okay, we'll see some of the applications of this AI in terms of these drones, and we'll understand this definition a bit better. Okay, so there is a subdomain of this AI, the artificial intelligence. There is a subdomain that is the machine learning algorithms. Okay, so what machine learning algorithm does is that it learns from the sum of the information that is given to it. It learns from data. Okay, so if you give the data like to an algorithm, or we'll see the example of this in the upcoming slides, which kind of data it would be and how would it learn from it. For now, we'll just stick to this that, okay, yeah, there are algorithms that learn from data. Those algorithms lie in the subdomain that is called the machine learning. So it is the subdomain of this artificial intelligence. And then we have this computer vision. Okay, so this computer vision enables the drone to see and understand. Well, what we are trying to do is make an human artificial human type system that can perform tasks more than a human being, but with intellect and intelligent level as a human brain. So the main objective is that we want some intelligent systems to obey our commands. Okay, to obey our commands, because humans may or may not obey you, and if you design, since you're not the designer of the human beings, you cannot control them. But these systems where you incorporate artificial intelligence, you are their creator, so they cannot disobey you because you are the one giving them those logics and all those algorithms, you are putting those logics into those brains of that of those systems. So once you say that a drone should fly from this point to that point and come back and land on it, it cannot do anything else because it is coded that way. Okay, so how AI is transforming drones? Well, if we talk about that, well, AI is being used for pre-programmed flight paths, meaning that we can just tell the drone, okay, you'll go from these coordinates to that point up to that building and cross that valley and then land onto that specific surface. Well, we'll just code all of these things into the drone and then we'll just let it go. We'll just tell it what to do and it will decide small details on its own to get the job done. Okay, deciding those small details and taking actions in accordance is this artificial intelligence algorithm in play. Okay, so what it does is that obstacle avoidance. Well, the drone, if there's the drone has to move in a straight path and there is a tree in between, so the drone does not know that there is a tree. It's not like a human brain. A human being would know walking straight and there's a tree there right in front of you. You would just go left and right because you are intelligent enough. Your brain is intelligent enough. The drone does not have a brain. You create that brain. So if you put some sensors that can detect that tree, okay, if you are blind and if you cannot hear and you cannot speak, if you take away those some sensory things in you, you also cannot observe if there's a tree. If you cannot sense, you do not have a skin touch, you cannot see, you cannot hear, how would you detect a tree that is right in front of you? Well, if you hit it, your skin needs to detect that, yeah, I touched something. If you do not have the skin sensors, if you cannot see, if you cannot hear the sounds, or you cannot detect. So the drone itself is like that. Unless you put some sensor, for example, a camera, which is the mimicry of a human eye, or obstacle avoidance sensors that measure something is in right in front of you. If you put some sensor and then some decisions are made based on the reading from that sensor, the drone becomes intelligent. Yeah. So there's a tree right in front. The drone will detect, okay, yeah, there's a tree. It will go from right or left and come back to its original path after avoiding that obstacle. So it can, hence it can adjust its path in real time. So machine learning analysis can be used for object detection and classification. For example, here, there's a drone and it is surveying a specific kind of terrain. So what it is equipped with is that it has two sensors on board. One is the LiDAR sensor and the other is optical flow sensor. So these two sensors are used to 3D map the terrain of this specific area which is being surveillance by this drone. So in the end, what happens is that there is a specific area, the drone quickly goes around it, and what we do, what we get in the outcome is that a 3D map of that area in no time. Okay, maybe if it's a block, it will take 15 to 20 seconds maybe to create a 3D map of that area. So then what you can do is that, well, if there's a remote location, you want to plan something in a mountainous area, and let's say that you want to construct a building in some mountain. Okay, so what will you do is that you send this drone and it will just go around that mountain and come back with the 3D map of that mountain. Then you can use your computer to see that, okay, yeah, this is the exact 3D map of that area. So there is a mountain with this peak and it's that much height, and there's a valley there, and this there are these curves here. So I can do this. This is the dimensions. This is the length of this height, and this is all the details. So this is called the aerial 3D mapping. So drones using artificial intelligence algorithms and machine learning algorithms, they can do these much intelligence tasks in no time. Okay, so here, here's a facial recognition system is being used using the drone. Here you see a person and the drone is flying in air and it zoomed onto this person. And here you see the drone is zooming out, and you see the drone is hovering in space. It is flying in air at a stationary position. It is not attached to anything. It is flying in air. There's nothing attached to it. It's not on a building, on top of a building, or on top of a floor or anything. It it zoomed in and detected, okay, yeah, there is that person over there. Okay, so again, it will again just zoom in on another person. There is a person walking by. Here you see, okay, yeah, it zoomed in, and how clearly you can see the face of this person. So once you see the face, you save that face, the data, and you use it for other purposes. But you have to consider the ethical implications of this application. Here on the right side, here's a night vision camera using the drone. It is detecting a person that is running around a forest. Okay, so it's a huge forest. Someone was lost, and you have to find them. Well, it is extremely difficult to find that person at night. Well, just send the drone. It has a night vision camera, and it has a bird's eye view. So here you see, in the night, it is detecting a human being running around. Okay, so that quickly it can get the person. And well, you can think about the possibilities and where these kinds of things can be used. So it can cover large areas very rapidly. It can provide thermal imaging for finding people. Thermal images include that it also sees through some of the obstacles. For example, if someone is inside a building, you can still see them using thermal imaging. Okay, so it can provide facial recognitions for missing person identifications, and it can be used for a lot and a lot of different applications if you put a camera on top of that drone. So based on that, the features of that camera, it could be a night vision camera, it could be a thermal imaging camera, or it could be a simple camera. So every camera has its own features, and based on some intelligent algorithms, you can command your drone to follow that person, to hover around it, or to quickly scan that area, or do something else. Okay, so okay, so the drones here you see are being used in agriculture as well. Here you see the drone is hovering, and on its own it is picking up apples from the tree. Okay, so there are multiple drones, and here I would just like yeah. Okay, so the drone on the right hand side, you see that. Okay, I'll just play the video once more. Okay, yeah. So here are multiple drones attached to some mechanical vehicle, and they're picking apples on their own. So all of these decisions are based on artificial intelligence. Okay, so here you see, okay, just a second. Okay, so I apologize for the clicking. Okay, yeah. So here you see a camera was installed onto that drone, and on the right hand side, let me just clear the point. Okay, so here you see it is observing these apples only. So the way it works is that you gave like maybe 10,000 images of apples to an algorithm, and you different angles, different colors, different shapes, different qualities, different kind of things. 10,000, 20,000, or 50,000, or whatsoever. The more the data, the better it is. You give 10,000, for example, images to an algorithm, and the algorithm learned on its own. That would be a machine learning algorithm that is learning from data. So the machine learning algorithm learned from it by observing that image. Okay, if something is in of this shape, it is round, it's red in color, it has curves like this, it is like that and that. So it's an apple. It learns from the data and saves that memory into its processor. So in real time, once it is observing something that is similar to what the data was previously given to it. It remembers, it's observed something, it observes this apple and remembers, yes, So this apple that I'm right now looking at looks something similar to that image that was given to me. It is similar to image number 77 in those 10,000 images. The 77th image is similar to this. So this must be an apple. So it is detecting on its own, making a decision on its own that it must be an apple. It is deciding on its own. And once it has decided, yes, okay, yeah, this is an apple, what it does is that it gives command to the drone, and the drone moves closer to that apple, and then it moves its arm to that apple and starts the suction pump, and that apple is extracted and it comes back. The apple is extracted and it is placed back to that vehicle, where again different category of apples are saved. Fresh apples are passed on to one floor, the dirty apples are on the other side, and all those algorithms are doing human work with no effort. Once you have designed this system, well, it will keep on working forever. It will never there will never come an there will never come an error to the logic. It will just You just have to give the power to the system. It will consume some energy, the batteries or the electricity that it needs to work, but it will keep the job as long as it stays intact. Okay, so this is an application of drones in AI. So it can be used for crop health monitoring as well, for precision spraying, for automated field mapping and yield estimation. So in agriculture, drones with intelligent algorithms, well, you can just think about the possibilities, the intelligent tasks that can be done using something that flies in air, and you can just think about it, and the AI expert can just make it happen for you. Here is another example of drones that are inspecting an infrastructure. So here it is observing the health of this bridge. So this highlighted area shows the cracks that it has. Okay, so these highlighted areas shows the cracks that this bridge has, and based on these cracks, it observes that okay, this bridge may collapse in a year, or maybe this specific parts need some construction or this or that. So it can give you some information. You do not have to physically go there and inspect. You send a drone to a bridge. Well, what will the drone tell you about the bridge? Nothing. But if you put a camera there and you put an artificial intelligence algorithm onto that drone, it can go there and see and observe and detect, yes, there are cracks there. How does it do that? Is that again similar concept to apples? You gave 10,000 images, or maybe more or less. You gave 10,000 images to an machine learning algorithm, and all those images had some cracks, different categories, different bridges, different kinds of cracks. Some have huge depressions, and some were very shallow, and different categories and different kinds. Wow, it learned from those cracks. Okay, if something look like this, okay, it's a crack. Okay, if something looks like something like this, it's a crack. Okay, something like this, it's something like this. 10,000 images, every category it remembers that okay, this is a crack. This and this and this, 10,000 different images. All these categories have are identified as cracks. So once it goes somewhere and it sees something that is similar to the data that it was trained on, well, it sees some it remembers, okay, yeah, this crack, it looks like some that data, yes, this must be a crack. This way it identifies. Okay, so back in the back end, we use machine learning algorithms, which is a part of artificial intelligence, and based on those algorithms, it detects different kinds of task that it is assigned to do. So the benefit is that it can access hard to reach areas and air powered damage detection, cracks and corrosion, faster and more cost effective inspections. If to send human beings, if there's a huge bridge, well, they cannot go to every detail without, well, extra cost, of course. And it's not easy for a human being to maybe like go to a bridge and inspect every inch. If the bridge is huge, it's difficult for humans as well. Well, the drone can do it with almost no energy. Its inherent job is to fly and go to places, and it can go to places at high speeds and very little cost and energy, and it can get it done quickly. Maybe it can detect, it can well inspect the whole bridge in less than a minute. A human being inspecting a whole bridge may take 5 to 6 hours, or maybe the whole day as well, or maybe more than that. Okay. Okay, so a application infrastructure. There's another application that there's a nut lab that has designed this quadcopter drone, and it has a camera here. And they developed an AI algorithm. It is equipped with AI algorithm. Well, it sees the object and maintains a specific distance so it does not hit that wind turbine, and it observes the overall it sees the overall wind turbine and detects stuff about that turbine. So here's the blade, and it detected there's this small crack here. Okay, so the drone on its own inspected the whole wind turbine and detected this crack and sent it back to the user. And then user must decide whether they should repair this blade or not, or maybe do something else or not. Okay, so there in 2019, for example, this blade was had some cracks, and in 2020 the blade was more cracked. I'll just replay that part. It can save the data. For example, here you see that the tip of this blade in 2019, well, it was somewhat rusted, and in 2020, after a year, well, this is the health of this blade. So that way you remember, the human brain cannot remember. There are like maybe hundreds of wind turbines in some area. How can you remember the health of each part of that wind turbine, of each wind turbine on those hundred of those? So the drone can save data on its own, and next year it can tell you, okay, last year this was like this, and this year it is like this. So based on that, you can just decide whether to replace it or take extra precautions, because a lot of damage is done in the wind farms. When one of the turbine fails, it kills itself, it physically gets destroyed, and the debris of that destroyed components hits some other wind turbines nearby, and those wind turbines are also damaged. And this may start a chain reaction, and a lot of wind turbines, well, may get damaged. So it is always better to keep inspecting them, and just keep the health of the wind turbines in your mind, and take decisions accordingly. Okay, so you do not have to like physically fly the drone and look for yourself whether the wind turbine has some cracks or not. You can just program the drone using artificial intelligence algorithms, and on its own it will detect. You can just send the drone and sleep. The drone will go to that wind turbine blade, and it will detect if there is a fault. It will send you the image. Once you wake up and you see, oh yeah, okay, so yeah, there are these images, and this is data, and this is that. So on its own, it knows what to detect and what to save, because you coded it that way. You made it intelligent. You told the objectives to these drones that, okay, we are looking at the cracks, the irregularities in the wind turbine blade. Okay, otherwise there are millions of things to look at. Well, the drone must know what things to concentrate on. Okay, so this is the way. Okay, so there is now drones are being used in delivery as well. So there's a company, there's this zipline company, well, that can autonomously on its own deliver some of the well, whatever the package is, to some specific coordinates, and it can drive itself intelligently, and on those specific coordinates it can drop the package and go back its own way. So, well, they design the system in computers, and then they make the physical systems and design the algorithms and the simulations, all of those things, and then they test it. Once vigorous testing is done, then they deploy that prototype into the industry or the civilization that they want. Okay, so the future of delivery is that the autonomous deliveries to remote areas, while it can quickly go from one place to another. So this reduces the delivery time, and it can go to remote areas even where there are no roads and you do not have vehicles to transport the packages. Well, of course, the limitation is that it cannot carry a lot of weight only. It depends what kind of drone you are using. Maybe it can carry 1, 2, 3 kg. If you are using some bigger drone, it can carry up to maybe 10, 15 kg of payload. And it depends on the kind of category that you are using. But on its own, it can go to some places and drop the package and come back to your location. And then you can just reuse it for the next time. So they are faster and more efficient delivery times. Of course, I just showed you the video of how fast these drones can maneuver, how fast these can fly, and what we have to consider the safety regulations and public perception as well, because these drones can be equipped with cameras, so you just cannot fly the drones into other people's home and look what they are doing, because you can of course observe via the camera. So you have to see what the public will perceive about these drones. And well, these drones have highly these drones have rotating blades that are rotating at high speeds. Well, they are very dangerous. If they you put a finger in there, it may chop off your hand or your finger. So you cannot just use them for well, hitting people. So you have to see the safety and regulations as well. So there is the downside of all physical systems as well, that you do not use it for negative or harmful objectives. So you have to look into that as well. Okay, if we talk about the future of AIs. So here you see there's a lab at Harvard that created this small, very small bee-like robot. Okay, so it has very small wings and it can fly in air. So we just saw some of the UAVs that were huge in size, but here you see there are very small UAVs as well that exist in the world. So the future is going to smaller size. So there is also a Harvard Medical Institute that is also working on a mechanical system that is of very small size. And here you see that this drone can hover and it can on its own using the solar energy. There's a solar panel attached to it and very small circuitry, electrical circuit, and it can fly on its own, and it is of huge small size. I'll just play this video again, so once you have a better look again. So this is a BX wing robot, and it works like this, as you see in the image right now. And I believe it is 5 centimeters long, and it weighs 259 milligrams. So you can observe, you can see that it is 259 milligrams. So how lightweight it is, right? And 5 centimeters, it is nothing. You might not observe it if it's in your area. So there are very small nanocopters as well, which have very small camera. So they can be moving around you, and you may not see them with your naked eye if they are not near to you. And but the camera there can see you. So someone may be watching you using these small drones, but it is very difficult to stabilize them, to make them, and to use all those mathematical equations and see their aerodynamic effects and design their controller so that they are stable and they can fly forward, backward in a controlled motion. It is a difficult thing to do, and then they can decide on their own whether to land there, go somewhere here or there. Okay, so you use AI algorithms and a lot of sophisticated engineering tools to create drones like these. But this is a really good future direction of AI with drones. Okay, so what else we can see is that we can use LiDAR sensor and 5G for enhanced capabilities. This LiDAR is used for the example that I showed you earlier about the 3D mapping of an area. So this LiDAR sensor can be used to detect the 3D dimensional height, width, and length, the 3D dimension of an object. And we can use 5G communication for a swarm of drones. For example, you have 100 drones, they can communicate with each other and take a decision accordingly. You send a single drone, that's something else. You send 100 drones and they can communicate with each other and then decide an intelligent design on their own. Well, that creates a lot of difference and in the capability of what these drones might be capable of doing. So you can use 5G communication, well, because it can transmit high data and it is very reliable, and it offers anti-jamming techniques as well, and a lot of benefits. So that is a different communication domain as well. Well, okay, moving on, expanding to disaster response, environmental monitoring, planetary exploration. Well, if there is an earthquake somewhere and there's a lot of rubble and the humans cannot just go there, you can send the drone and it can maybe use thermal imaging to look through the concrete and see, oh yeah, okay, there is a human being there and there. So the rest of the human force can be pointed out. Okay, you guys should work at those points and this point. So this way they can be used in disaster response, environmental monitoring. They can be used well to see the oxygen level, the humidity levels, the atmospheric pressure, the poisonous gases in air. They can go around a specific area and tell you that whether well this air around you is poisonous or not. Is it healthy to breathable? It's healthy or not? What is the pollination level around you? What are gas? What kind of gases are around around you, so you may take decisions accordingly. Planetary explorations, you can send the drones to remote areas, for example in Atlantic oceans or Atlantica or Antarctica. Well, you can send the drones there and well, you cannot physically go there, but the will quickly go there and you can just observe and see what things are happening there, explore the areas, the mountains and the terrain, maybe some of the animals and the things and all of those things. Okay, but you have to address ethical considerations because these drones can violate the privacy of people, and you have to consider the security implications as well because these drones can be used for harmful purposes as well. So you have to consider those things as well. So here is a really good video. So there's a drone that detected this person, and this small drone is detecting this person, and it is surrounding it, and it will. You see here the size of this drone. It comes to this in comparison to this drone. You see that this is a very small drone which has 3 grams of explosives attached to it. So it has 3 milligrams of, oh sorry, 3 grams of explosive, and this is how it works. It detects a human being and bam, it kills it. So very small drone, it on its own detected a human being using the camera, and it drove itself, and it had 3 grams of explosive attached to it, and it hit that person, and boom, the person is gone. So there are countless and endless possibilities, and you can think about the things that you can do with drones and how AI is changed. The intelligent algorithms on its own, it's just a drone, it's just a vehicle that can fly. If it flies and do tasks, so those tasks, if they are intelligent tasks, well, the possibilities are endless. So this AI, the artificial intelligence, it is making those tasks intelligent on its own. Let me play this video once again. Here you see this image. This is the image coming from the drone. The drone on its own is detecting, okay, yeah, this is a human being and this is that face. Okay, so it is detecting that, and this small, very small thing, it lands on its own on his hand, and once this person throws it in air, it will fly and make it stabilize itself. And yeah, there he throws it, and it is flying in air, and it is detecting, okay, there's a face, and boom, I have to go there and I have to hit at that specific angle on that specific part of that face. All these decisions, detecting the face, hitting it, driving itself, all of this is artificial intelligence. Okay, So there are different kinds of well, applications. So AI is revolutionizing UAV capabilities, vast potential for various industries, and exciting future with endless possibilities. So the question is, what possibilities excite you? So, well, this is the brief overview of how intelligent algorithms combined with UAVs can do different kinds of tasks and how useful they are in today's world. So that's pretty much it. So thank you, and well, we'll come to the question answer session now.
Thank you very much, Dr. Abdullah Magiz. Uh, I'm very, very impressed, as usual. As a matter of fact, what we just got from you is a truly comprehensive and detailed description of what we can achieve through artificial intelligence in the drone industry. Whatever, whether it is doing search and rescue, precision agriculture, infrastructure inspection, dynamic delivery. You just mentioned also micro and macro aerial exploration. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the future of modern technology. We've seen a lot, but with that, this is one more gigantic step towards what humans can do using artificial intelligence through algorithms, learning from data, pretty much like we just learned from our subject matter expert, Dr. Abdullah. We have about a good 15-minute period for questions. Please, let's make them quick. Just one question at a time. And we are beginning with Marta Odumu. One question at a time, please. And let's get that done, ladies and gentlemen. Marta.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Abdullah, for your beautiful presentation. I have two questions, but because of the time given, I will
Yes,
just
we're
ask
gonna
the
do one
first.
question at a time, please.
Okay. So my question is, how far can the drones go? Like what kind of distance, how far can they cover? If I stay
Professor
in one
Magiz,
city, if I stay in one city,
Yes.
can I
Okay.
send it to
Yeah.
another city?
Yeah. Okay. So if we talk about the range of these drones, well, it depends on the category of that drone that you are talking about. There are two limitations. One is the physical type of that drone. For example, I believe my slides are being shared. So if you have something with wings, it can hover on its own using the aerodynamics pressure, and it will take less energy. So maybe it can go up to like, it can fly for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. But if you have drones with highly rotating motors, they consume a lot of energy. Maybe a good drone can like go for like an hour at max or 1.5 hours. So we do have this constraint on these UAVs because they are smaller in size, so we can put a small battery onto it, and that small battery indicates that, well, you cannot fly it for long until then you have to recharge it. You can fly it for long, but the battery will go down and you have to replace the battery or bring it down and charge it and then fly again.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, Abdullah Sis. Your turn now, please. Abdullah.
Are you hearing me? Good
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just asking some questions about
Please.
three questions.
One question at a time. We have 7.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you.
Okay. The question is that when we increase the what I in
I am
would like
so
to increase
sorry. I am so
the
sorry.
velocity.
Sound is not clear. We cannot hear
Hello,
exactly
Professor.
what you're saying. Let's try
Are
again,
you
please.
hearing me?
Let's try again.
Okay. Are you hearing me? Yeah, try again. It's okay?
Go
It's
ahead.
coming? When we would like to increase, the velocity of the drone, when we would like to go to forward or backward or left side or right side, what we call in a typical the typical word in the aircraft, what does it mean in for the science of drone, the movement of the drone? If you have to go backward or forward or left side or
Yeah, so
right side. The second
I
question
will
is
try
for
to
the
guess the question. If you're talking about the movements of the drone, then there are two ways. Well, you can drive the drone manually. You can just command it, go left, go right, using a controller. So it's like a joystick that you use for gaming purposes. You can just use that joystick to command the drone to go left, right, or you can use intelligent algorithms that will tell it on its own where should it go. Your voice was unclear, so I'm just guessing the question. I believe. Did you get my answer? Was that your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Now we're moving to Stelio Sambane. Stelio, please.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Okay. Yes, my question is, I'm seeing the main type of drone. I would like to know which one is better to check the cracks in infrastructures, and also I would like to know the comparison between the small one and big one about the prices. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you
Okay.
very much,
So
Professor
yeah.
Gies.
So if you want to inspect something, maybe inspect the cracks or something else, well, the number one point is that you should get a good camera, uh, an expensive camera, an HD camera. It does not matter on which drone you put it in. Okay. So if you have a very expensive drone and the camera quality is very low and you do not have a good algorithm, it will do nothing. If you have a good algorithm and you have a very good quality camera, well, you can choose any drone, any cheap drone that will take its weight and fly to those dimensions. So usually, normally, we use quadcopters as pointed out on my presentation right now. So we use these quadcopters. The DJI is a good company with the very really good cameras. So we use these quadcopters because they are smaller in size, they are cheaper, and they can perform aggressive maneuvers. They can go around and go into small places as well, and they can do that inspection task.
A question, Sarah Lombala, in the chat for you, Professor Abdullah Magiz. She's looking at legal implications, and she's asking, do we need licenses and registration? Before you answer, I can, I mean, that's speaking for myself. I own a DJI drone. I am in Miami Beach, States. And here, if you are using a drone for commercial, you do need a specific license. But personally, I am using my drone for personal reason. I do not need a license as long as I fly no higher than 800 meters. This is the regulations. I mean, that's everywhere in the United States, flying no 800 meters. And that is if you are using for leisure activity. Now, let me have you, Professor Maggie, address that issue raised by Sarah Lumbala. Do we need licenses and registration?
Yeah, okay. Yes, but I believe you just answered the question as well. Well, it depends on the application. If you're using it for personal application, for example, mostly people get DJI drones for photography and all this and that. Well, you do not need any license. But if you are to use it for some business or for something, if you are flying it in some government area, and well, if a lot of people are involved, you may need to check with the government policy, the local policy of that area. So you would need some licensing for those things.
Bokang Senatsi, are you ready?
Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for
Hello.
a wonderful talk. My question is, are there any implications in terms of radioactive waves that are coming from these drones?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
I'm asking if are there any implication or harmful effects that are coming from radioactive waves from the drones?
Radioactive waves. Okay. So no, there are no radiations that are emitted from these drones. Oh.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Asfa, are you ready? We are with you now.
Yes, sir.
Asfa Habte.
Yes, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
My question about
So,
accuracy
yes.
according to infrastructure decision or cost effectiveness. Other options giving sometimes not cost is not the option. Maybe a better maintenance way or repairment way, and also according to functioning of and decision making. Does it's 100% accurate, or it depends on the person's given data? Because
Okay.
knowledge
So,
of person
Yeah.
is from person
yeah.
to person.
Yes. Okay. So, well, once it is detecting something, if you talk about the accuracy, this accuracy is highly dependent on how good machine learning algorithm you use. So if you see the machine learning domain and the researchers working in this domain, they are trying to make algorithms that are more and more intelligent than the previous ones. Okay. So you give more data to it, maybe not 10,000 images, you can give it 100,000 images, and you can create a more intelligent algorithm. This way, there is a possibility now that it will, the accuracy will go from 90% to 95%. Again, there will exist always a possibility that the detection was wrong, but that probability is very, very low if you are using some good algorithm. So it depends on your algorithm uh, about this accuracy thing. The type of
Bibi
algorithm.
Faziana, that is your turn now. Bibi Faziana.
So, good evening, everyone. In Mauritius is at night here. So I want to ask a question. This drone with AI has killed many in Gaza. They said that when they hear the drone, they are safe, but when everything is silent, you know. So I want your opinion about that.
Yes, yes. Well, since I am a scientific guy, so yes, of course, anything can be used for negative purposes as well. If you just take a plastic blade of a drone, take it in your hand, and you just well cut someone's neck, you can kill someone as well. So any physical system can be used for bad purposes as well, and can be used for good purposes. It depends on the ethics of human beings. So the technology, you cannot control it. You cannot control the negativity that may come as an outcome. So of course, it's not good, but what can we do?
We are all humans, and we can do good, we can do bad. Earlier, we could our brother Abdullah, but he just put his question on the chat channel. It's about whether we are able to either increase or decrease the velocity of a drone. Can artificial intelligence?
Yes, yes, definitely. We can increase and decrease. We can control the speed of the drone, the dimensions, and the maneuvers, and we can control all of the dynamics using AI. We can control everything about the drone.
All right. Sarah Lambala is asking also on the chat box, how much is artificial in the health sector?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
She is artificial intelligence that in the health sector, in a hospital, health area.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so, well, there are drones that are being used as aerial ambulances. Well, there's a first aid kit that can fly to remote areas somewhere an accident happened, and it can provide an immediate action. But if you talk about something inside a hospital, well, the drones are used for flying purposes. So inside a closed room, there is no such purpose of a flying object. So in the health sector, they are used to bring aid to remote areas. And yeah.
All right. With your permission, Dr. McGee's, we're going to try to accommodate 2 more questions.
Yes, yes, please.
Of time. That's one with Ismail Adebola. Ismail.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Professor. Good morning, everyone. Professor, thank you for the comprehensive presentation. Thank you. My question is this. What role does artificial intelligence play in drone data analysis and interpretation? And how do drones use artificial intelligence for obstacle detection and collision avoidance?
Okay. Yes. So, well, the purpose of AI is to make decisions on its own from real-time information. Okay. So it is detecting an obstacle, it is detecting something else in the environment. It will take that information and then decide what this drone has to do. And then their drone will do that thing. So this decision process, we have to program this decision onto this UAV system in the first place. Okay. So the way it works is that we take a lot of data and we provide all of those kinds of possibilities. If this happens, you do this. If this happens, you do this and that and this and that. So we use a lot of data in creating that brain of that drone. Once it is created, then during the execution, during the operation, it will decide on its own the intelligent decisions and take actions accordingly.